Hello, everyone. Today I have a story that will touch your heart, and if you think you've heard everything about courage and friendship, get ready to be surprised. Imagine a dog who, after being rescued from the streets of New York, not only found a new home but also helped transform the lives of many people. And the most amazing part, he brought hearts together in ways you would never imagine. You'll see how Lucky wasn't just a hero at the moment of his rescue. Something even more special happened afterward. Want to know what it was? Then stick with us until the end, because this story is just as surprising as its beginning. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, take a moment now so you don't miss any incredible stories like this one. Leave a comment too, I'll be replying to every single one. Let's find out together how Lucky changed not only his own life but also the lives of those fortunate enough to cross his path. Don't miss it.
New York City, with its towering skyscrapers and frenetic pace, was the stage for the life of Sarah, a 28-year-old nurse whose heart carried an emptiness since the loss of her grandmother. Her friends, Jake, the jokester with a sensitive soul, David, the talented cook with dreams of a restaurant, and Emily, the artist who saw poetry in every detail, tried to cheer her up, but nothing seemed to fill that void. One rainy autumn afternoon, as they were walking back from a coffee shop, a faint bark echoed between the buildings, diverting the course of their lives. Amidst cardboard boxes, a small stray dog, with matted fur and sad eyes, huddled, seeking refuge from the rain. That unexpected encounter sparked a feeling of compassion in the group of friends, especially in Sarah, who felt an immediate connection with the animal. That sad look, that exposed fragility, was a silent appeal that could not be ignored. What they didn't know was that this little being, who would soon be called Lucky, would not only change his life, but the lives of each of them. The decision to take Lucky to Sarah's apartment was the first step on a journey that would test their bonds of friendship and expose their vulnerabilities. The dog's fear and distrust contrasted with the hope he had awakened in each of the friends. This little being, rescued from the streets, would be the catalyst for a profound transformation, revealing secrets from the past and challenging their certainties. What began as an act of kindness would transform into an experience of self-discovery, full of challenges and emotions. The future, uncertain and full of surprises, was about to reveal the true meaning of family and redemption. That faint bark, echoing in the cold New York night, was the prelude to a story that would touch the hearts of all who heard it. New York, the city that never sleeps, served as the backdrop for the lives of Sarah, Jake, David, and Emily. Sarah, at 28 years old, was a dedicated nurse whose heart was still recovering from the loss of her grandmother, an essential figure in her life. The longing consumed her, creating a barrier between her and the world. Jake, Sarah's childhood friend, was a free spirit, always with a joke on the tip of his tongue, but behind the humor, he had a deep insecurity about his future. David, the cook of the group, was a dreamer who longed to open his own restaurant, but the fear of failure paralyzed him. His passion for cooking was evident in every dish he prepared, but he lacked the courage to take the next step. Emily, the artist of the group, was an attentive observer who transformed the beauty of everyday life into art. Her sensitivity was her greatest strength, but also her greatest vulnerability. The four friends had known each other since childhood, their bonds strengthened by years of adventures and misadventures. Sarah's apartment, a small but cozy space, was the group's meeting point, the place where they shared their dreams and fears. Friendship was the foundation of their lives, the anchor that kept them together amidst the chaos of the city. Their routine, marked by meetings in cafes, walks in the park, and conversations in Sarah's living room, was about to be transformed by Lucky's arrival. The small stray dog, found in the rain, would be the catalyst for a journey of self-discovery, leading them to question their choices and seek a new meaning for their lives. Each of them, with their particularities and challenges, was about to discover the transformative power of unconditional love, which only those who have a pet know. Lucky's arrival, initially a relief, exposed cracks in the friends' lives. Sarah, consumed by guilt over her grandmother's death, discovered that she had left a secret letter revealing a painful family past. Jake, in turn, saw his optimism crumble when he received a job offer that would force him to abandon photography, his dream. David, struggling with the fear of failure, saw his restaurant threatened by unexpected debts, while Emily, under pressure from fame, felt increasingly distant from her art. Lucky, once a symbol of hope, now seemed to witness the disintegration of that group, unable to do anything to stop it. The revelation of secrets shook the group's dynamics. Sarah, determined to unravel her family's past, began a search for answers, facing resistance from relatives who preferred to remain silent. Jake, torn between the dream of photography and the security of a job, found himself in a dilemma that distanced him from his friends. David, desperate to save his restaurant, resorted to risky loans, jeopardizing his financial stability. Emily, in search of authenticity, decided to abandon fame and dedicate herself to a personal artistic project, defying public expectations. The relationship between the friends became tense, marked by distrust and hurt feelings. The individual search for solutions distanced them, creating a chasm between them. Lucky, feeling the group's sadness, became increasingly quiet and apathetic, as if he were absorbing the pain of his companions. That little dog, who had once united the group, now seemed to witness their disintegration. While Sarah was investigating the past, she discovered that her grandmother's letter mentioned an old animal shelter where she had worked. Intrigued, Sarah decided to visit the place, without imagining that this decision would lead her to an unexpected encounter with Lucky's past. Jake, when faced with the possibility of losing his passion for photography, began to question his choices and the true meaning of happiness. David, seeing his restaurant sink into debt, felt helpless and desperate, not knowing who to turn to. And Emily, upon freeing herself from the shackles of fame, faced loneliness and the difficulty of reconnecting with her art. The journey of each of the friends became increasingly complex, full of obstacles and twists. The future was uncertain, and hope seemed to fade with each passing day. That small group, which had united around the love for Lucky, was about to discover that the true test of friendship was the ability to support each other in the most difficult moments. Amidst the chaos of their lives, an unexpected event shook the group. During Sarah's visit to the old animal shelter, she found a record revealing that Lucky had been adopted and returned several times, each time more traumatized. The file mentioned the name of the breeder who had mistreated him, the same one the lady had mentioned in the park. That was the trigger for a new search, a mission to do justice for Lucky and discover the truth about his past. The news of Lucky's file deeply impacted the group. Sarah, moved by guilt and compassion, felt responsible for protecting the dog. Jake, seeing Lucky's suffering, decided to use his photography to denounce animal cruelty, transforming his art into an instrument of struggle. David, realizing that his own struggle was insignificant compared to Lucky's suffering, decided to use his talent in the kitchen to raise funds for animal shelters. And Emily, inspired by Lucky's strength, decided to create an art exhibition that would raise awareness about the importance of responsible adoption. That unexpected event had given a new purpose to the group. The search for justice for Lucky became the catalyst for the union of friends, who put aside their personal problems to dedicate themselves to a greater cause. That little stray dog, who had been rescued from the streets, became the symbol of the fight against cruelty and the hope for a better world. From that moment on, Lucky's story took a new turn. Lucky's past, full of pain and suffering, had become the engine for the transformation of their lives. The search for Lucky's breeder became the group's priority. Sarah, using her skills as a nurse, began investigating reports of mistreatment in animal shelters, finding other cases of cruelty. Jake, with his impactful photos, launched an awareness campaign on social media, exposing the reality of abandoned animals. David, transforming his restaurant into a collection point, organized charity events to raise funds for animal protection NGOs. And Emily, with her art, created a series of works that portrayed the pain and hope of animals, moving the public. During the investigations, Sarah met a veterinarian named Jessica, who had worked at the shelter where Lucky had been left. Jessica revealed details about the breeder, a man named Mr. Thompson, known for his cruelty and neglect. That meeting gave Sarah the missing piece to complete the puzzle. Jake, by posting the photos on social media, attracted the attention of a journalist who was interested in Lucky's story and decided to write an article about the case. That was the beginning of the fight for justice. David, by organizing the charity events, met a volunteer named Lisa, who became his partner in the animal cause. That meeting awakened a feeling of admiration and respect, which went beyond friendship. Emily, by exhibiting her works, attracted the attention of an art collector who offered to sponsor her exhibition, giving her the opportunity to show her work to a larger audience. That was the recognition she had longed for. The search for justice for Lucky had transformed the lives of the friends, uniting them in a common cause. Each of them, with their skills and talents, was contributing to the fight against animal cruelty. That small group, which had united around the love for Lucky, was becoming an example of solidarity and compassion. Lucky's rescue journey had transformed into a journey of transformation for all of them. The article about Lucky, published by the journalist, attracted the attention of Mr. Thompson, who felt threatened by the exposure of his crimes. He began to harass Sarah and her friends, trying to intimidate and silence them. That was the beginning of a dangerous battle that put everyone's safety at risk. Sarah, feeling guilty for having exposed her friends, began to distance herself from the group, trying to protect them from Mr. Thompson's fury. Jake, when faced with the threats, found himself in a dilemma. He had to choose between the safety of his friends and the fight for justice. David, when getting closer to Lisa, began to question his feelings, finding himself torn between friendship and love. And Emily, when faced with the pressure of success, began to doubt her talent, feeling increasingly insecure. Mr. Thompson's persecution intensified, putting Lucky's life at risk. The dog, sensing the danger, became more skittish and fearful, returning to his past behaviors. Sarah, desperate, decided to seek help from Jessica, who had information about Mr. Jake's whereabouts. When faced with the possibility of losing Lucky, decided to join the fight, using his photos to expose Mr. Jake's cruelty. David, when declaring his love for Lisa, discovered that she also had feelings for him. That loving encounter gave him the strength to face his fears and fight for his dreams. And Emily, when freeing herself from the pressure of success, decided to dedicate herself to a new form of art that expressed her true essence. That was the beginning of a new phase in her life. Lucky's rescue journey had transformed into a fight for survival that would test the limits of friendship and courage. With the help of the veterinarian Jessica, Sarah discovered Mr. Thompson's hideout, an isolated farm on the outskirts of the city. She decided to go there, accompanied by Jake, David, and Emily, willing to confront him and put an end to his crimes. That was the moment of truth, the time to put an end to that story of pain and suffering. The journey to the farm was tense, with the group apprehensive about what might happen. Upon arriving at the location, they found other animals in deplorable conditions, victims of Mr. Thompson's cruelty. That scene of horror shocked the group, who felt even more determined to do justice. Sarah, with Jessica's help, managed to rescue the animals, while Jake used his photos to document Mr. Thompson's crimes. David, with his courage, confronted the breeder, defending the animal's tooth and nail. And Emily, with her art, transformed that moment of pain into a powerful denunciation. During the confrontation, Mr. Thompson tried to escape, but was stopped by Lucky, who attacked him furiously, protecting his friends. That act of bravery surprised the group, who realized that the little dog had become a warrior. That moment of tension had exposed the true nature of each of the characters, revealing their strength, courage, and compassion. That encounter with Mr. Thompson marked a turning point in the story. The search for justice had transformed into a fight for freedom, which would lead them to face their own fears and rediscover the true meaning of friendship. Lucky's past, full of pain and suffering, had become the engine for the transformation of their lives. After the confrontation at the farm, the group decided to take Mr. Thompson to the police, exposing his crimes and denouncing animal cruelty. That was the first step towards justice, the beginning of the end of that story of pain and suffering. The police began an investigation, gathering evidence and testimonies to incriminate Mr. Thompson. That was the moment to give a voice to the animals who had been victims of his cruelty. While the police worked, the group prepared for Mr. Thompson's trial. Sarah, with her experience as a nurse, cared for the rescued animals, ensuring they received the necessary care. Jake, with his photos, created an exhibition to raise public awareness about the importance of responsible adoption. David, with his restaurant, organized charity events to raise funds for animal protection NGOs. And Emily, with her art, transformed pain into hope, inspiring other people to do good. During the preparation for the trial, the group received unexpected news. An old partner of Mr. Thompson, named Mark, offered to testify against him, revealing details about his crimes. That was a crucial moment that could change the course of the story. Mark, repentant of his actions, decided to redeem himself, offering his help to end Mr. Thompson's cruelty. This was the moment to join forces, to fight for justice, and to give a voice to the animals who had been victims of abuse. The group, strengthened by friendship and courage, was ready to face the final challenge. This was the moment to put an end to the story of pain and suffering. Mr. Thompson's trial was about to begin, and the future was uncertain. The day of Mr. Thompson's trial arrived, bringing with it a mix of hope and apprehension. Sarah, Jake, David, and Emily were ready to testify, exposing Mr. Thompson's cruelty and defending the rights of the animals. This was the moment to put an end to the story of pain and suffering. The courtroom was packed, with people from all corners of the city, eager to follow the outcome of this case. During the trial, Mr. Thompson tried to defend himself, claiming that he had not committed any crime. He denied the accusations, trying to manipulate public opinion. This was a crucial moment that would test the group's courage and determination. Sarah, with her firm and confident voice, exposed the abuse that Lucky and other animals had suffered. Jake, with his impactful photos, showed Mr. Thompson's cruelty, exposing the reality of abandoned animals. David, with his passion for justice, defended the rights of animals, showing that they deserved respect and love. And Emily, with her art, transformed pain into hope, inspiring other people to do good. The testimony of Mark, Mr. Thompson's former partner, was fundamental to incriminating him, revealing details about his crimes and his cruelty. The judge, after hearing all the testimonies and analyzing the evidence, announced his decision. Mr. Thompson was found guilty of animal abuse and cruelty and was sentenced to serve a long prison term. This was the moment of justice, the victory of the animals who had been victims of his cruelty. The courtroom erupted in applause, with people emotional and moved by the outcome of this case. Sarah, Jake, David, and Emily hugged and cried, feeling a deep relief and a sense of accomplishment. This moment of victory marked the end of a long journey, full of challenges and emotions. The search for justice for Lucky had transformed the lives of the friends, uniting them in a bond of love and friendship. That little stray dog, who had been rescued from the streets, became the symbol of the fight against cruelty and the hope for a better world. This was the moment to celebrate the victory, but also to reflect on the future. After the trial, Sarah, Jake, David, and Emily decided to continue the fight for the animal cause. They created an animal protection NGO, offering shelter, care, and love to abandoned animals. Sarah, with her experience as a nurse, took care of the health of the animals, ensuring that they received the necessary care. Jake, with his photos, continued to denounce animal cruelty, raising public awareness about the importance of responsible adoption. David, with his restaurant, organized charity events to raise funds for the NGO, ensuring that it could continue its work. And Emily, with her art, transformed pain into hope, inspiring other people to do good. This was the moment to act, to make a difference, to build a fairer and more supportive world for all living beings. Adopt an animal, be the change you want to see in the world. Years passed, and the lives of Sarah, Jake, David, and Emily had completely transformed. Sarah, who had overcome the pain of her grandmother's loss, became an even more dedicated and compassionate nurse, finding a new purpose in the fight for the animal cause. Jake, who had gained professional recognition, became a renowned photographer, using his art to denounce the injustices of the world. David, who had consolidated his restaurant, became a famous chef, using his cuisine to feed the body and soul of people. And Emily, who had achieved success as an artist, became a defender of nature, using her art to inspire beauty and hope. Lucky, the little stray dog rescued from the streets, lived a long and happy life alongside his friends. He became an old dog with white fur and slow movements, but his eyes still shone with the same joy and gratitude as always. He continued to be the center of Sarah, Jake, David, and Emily's lives, the link that united them in a bond of unconditional love. That little dog had taught them the true meaning of friendship, compassion, and hope. Lucky's story became a legend, inspiring other people to adopt abandoned animals and fight for the animal cause. That little stray dog had become the symbol of redemption, proof that love is capable of transforming any life, no matter how difficult it may be. This was Lucky's legacy, a legacy of love, hope, and justice. The lives of Sarah, Jake, David, and Emily continued, full of challenges and achievements, but the memory of Lucky always accompanied them, guiding their steps and inspiring their actions. That little dog had changed their lives forever, teaching them that love is the greatest force in the world. Be the change, open your heart to an animal that needs you. The reward is immeasurable.